I can't get it to go.
And welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Tuck Shop Podcast. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Today's a little bit of a different episode. We talked for a couple weeks about the idea that today was going to be our end of term student teacher conference or student teacher presentation show. And hey, those of you who have spent any quality time here at campus certainly know that sometimes the weather plays tricks on you, and today was one of those days. Sadly, they had to shift the event to a remote event because we had a bit of our first snowstorm of the season. So that left David and I kind of out there on the edge looking for a good show to have, and David got pulled into a meeting for his actual job, not just hanging out here with us. So you get stuck with me today. And hey, I know, a little different, certainly a different format, but I'm excited. Something to doing a one-person show is a very different kind of thing, because effectively you and I are just having a conversation. You get to help co-host across the board. It's kind of fun, but it is a different feel. There's some really cool one person shows out there about a bunch of different topics if you are a podcast aficionado. But I didn't want to leave you without a show, and I thought it'd be kind of a good thing to talk for a little bit today. Just kind of check in, see how you guys are doing. How do you think things are going? I hope you've enjoyed this term, fall 2025. This term's worth of shows. We're going to have a wrap up next week, but this has been a really, really fun term worth of shows. Anything from the Tony Golden reunions episodes, the talking to people who have this just unimaginable love for this place, whether or not they graduated. It is something that I certainly appreciate to see and love having them on campus, and I look forward to seeing them again. And I hope they've all enjoyed the shows that they've been a part of this term. But upcoming events, we've talked to faculty, we've done students, we did soil judging, we had all kind of different people in the last 14 or 15 weeks. And that's exactly what I was hoping to have happen when we came up with this idea. I don't think I have ever told the story about how I started podcasting. Certainly, media is a thing that I can do. I often tell the students when I do my life story, I've kind of come back full circle. Because when I started at UPJ, I was actually on the radio. I was a radio disc jockey. Late night weekend shift, spinning. It wasn't records; it was still digital at that point. But it's something that I really liked. But just kind of over the course of career and started when I started as a student at UPJ, really fell in love with the not just the concept of geography, but the program itself and the people. And it's been one of those last couple of weeks I've been thinking about those people. I don't know why. Just kind of thinking about the past, and it was Geography Awareness Week a couple weeks back, and just kind of thinking of the history and stuff and people who aren't here. But kind of got away from it. And then, lo and behold, and I've done media stuff since then, different projects and saving video and playing around with it. It's a technical thing. I like technical things, little technology, gadgets kind of stuff. But along came COVID 5 years ago. And one of the interesting things about kind of a fluke in the law of Pennsylvania is you wouldn't have any restrictions in Pennsylvania if you were a media member, including podcasting. So I'm like, okay, fine, we'll start doing some podcasting, and those shows are long gone from the ether. But it was something that I was like, hey, I can do this. It's fun. It was interesting. It passed the time. It kind of made it interesting, talking about things that were going on, and kind of packed it away. Don't have to really worry about it too much. We got back to life and didn't think about it too much more. Then we started having this conversation, and you hear, hopefully through these shows, the conversations, at least little bits and pieces that David and I will have with each other. And last week's a great example. Our Thanksgiving episode with him and Denise, you can hear thus the bigger parts of the process as we kind of talk and think things out. We had been talking off and on about the idea of the things that go on and how they have been somewhat lost to the universe as time has passed. There's a great book, Dr. Hunter's book, about the history of the college, that is out there. But that stops at a certain point. And then you kind of have a gap where news stories are there and stuff, but you don't get that in-depth personal kind of situation. And we kept talking about this being an issue and a problem. And eventually we kind of started thinking about, boy, it'd be great if somebody was documenting and talking to people and doing something along the lines of this show. And I learned through my career, I've never learned the lesson. I know the lesson. I've never learned it. And I'm going to credit the Colonel Langenfelder, used to be county commissioner in Cambria County, and his chief clerk, Major Eddie, and used to be Doug's retired Air Force, Steve's Marine Corps. Not officially retired, but you're never a former Marine. And it was always one of those things where you learned, you identify a problem, great. It's now your job to fix it. And the more we talked, and I realized that with David's help, we could start doing this. And it's been, we're gonna celebrate 100 episodes in the spring. And I'm already kind of think of cool things to do and what we can do to make that kind of special. But because no one else was doing it. And I'm really glad we do. I'm really glad we are. There's some great episodes here that document people at a certain point in their lives. When we have students on, the award winners who come on and talk about winning the junior scholarship from the Alumni Association, they're going to be able to look back and hopefully in the past, or listen to themselves in the past when they're sitting there in the future and think about, oh, that's what I was like when I was 20 or 21 or 22. That's a piece of their personal history. And it's hopefully something that you hear and you say, hey, I want to help support. Like I do a donation or attend an event or whatever, options that you choose to engage in. I would hope that kind of inspires you that way. But there's also things that we have documented that you just don't have. Events, the student teacher showcases kind of fall into that category with students. But Winterfest, that comes and goes. Graduations that we're part of come and go. There are people who've been on the show that got to tell their stories who aren't with us anymore. And that's, to me, very special. So this is kind of turned into what started as a pet project, as kind of an outside idea that I had hoped would be kind of fun to do, has turned into something that I hope becomes part of the history and the narrative of UPJ forever. At some point I won't do this anymore. Hopefully it's very long in the future, but hopefully somebody takes over when I'm no longer able to do this and keep it going. It's very, very neat. And it's such a good topic. With 18,000 plus living alumni, we have so many cool stories, whether it's on campus, off campus, when the people were students, the things that they've done since then. And we get to hear them all the time. If you aren't around, if you don't have the privilege to do what David and I do and see these events and attend open houses and graduations and the student teacher showcase and things like that, to see what it means for people when they bring their kids and say, hey, I went here. Or think about when they do a tour that we can help you set up. If you have a group, reach out to David. His email's in the description. That give you something that you can focus on to bring up those memories or share a story or show off, whatever. We all have our own little UPJ story. And good point. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to graduate from here. Because Tony Golden and his group's a great example. Not all those folks graduated from here, but they still think of it as home. It's very, very special to tell these stories because it's a very special place. I have made no bones about it. I would make the argument. I will stand by it. This is my favorite campus anywhere. System, pit system, not pit system. Anywhere else. I think we got the best people, we have the best support people, we have the best staff, we have the best faculty. I would put us against anybody because sometimes it's not the size, sometimes it's the people who care. And I think David is a good example of that. And I was very grateful that he opted to go along with us and say, hey, this is going to be fun. Let's sit down once a week and spend 20 minutes or half hour with people. So I hope you have enjoyed these as well. Campus is always special, and we have some projects coming up. We've been kind of a little quiet. We have end of year is never really big with events. I do not know, and I'm sorry. I'm going to tell David because he's going to listen to this at some point. I can't remember or not. Listen to last week's. If you want to know more about the Levity Brewing, I don't remember if you can still sign up for that or not. So just take a peek last week, and I think he said the date then, or again, email him. But that's the event in Indiana coming up in a couple days. It may be, I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm not 100% sure if you can't register yet or not. So sorry, David. I should listen more when you talk. But we have some cool things coming up. And one of them is going to be a thing that needs your help. We kind of have a, let's say we've been challenged to a contest of sorts. And we're going to need some help. But I'm not concerned. We're going to talk about it a little bit more as we get into maybe next week's episode, if not beginning of January. But effectively, what I did is I bet on UPJ alumni, and that's where I'm going to put my money on. And I think we're going to be great at a very simple but very important thing. It's all I can really talk about right now, but I am looking forward to be able to give out more information on that really, really soon. One of the other cool things that have come up that we worked on over break. I worked over break a good bit because I like to work. But there should be in the next week or so the quarterly update, the end of year here push for the next round of alumni businesses in the Alumni First Business Directory. So if you had your business featured on Business of the Week, if David's talked to you, I have you in the database, and we have a new push out to upload to the Business First Business, the webpage You can get to it right off the UPJ main page under the alumni tab to get a listing of here's businesses that are owned by UPJ alum. Again, I am a big believer that we should be supporting each other. UPJ alum supporting each other, hiring each other, doing business with each other, because we have that common anchor point behind all of us. So I'm really excited. Got that updated, and that'll be coming out as soon as we can get the webpage updated. A lot of stuff going on end of term, especially with a winter graduation in a week and a half. I'll tell you what, I was on campus today, and it's that 3 days of the term left before finals week kind of nervousness. You kind of remember that little, a lot of projects due, a lot of papers, last couple of little quizzes and stuff to knock out before that big final. That's what's going on day in and day out right now. Then you throw on a couple inches of snow, and it gets a little fun. But I'm real excited about that. So we have events coming up, business first directory, and we have this challenge that's coming. And I think we're gonna just home run after home run after home run, because we're and I harp on it, but it's true. I truly think this is the best campus and the best university around. There's people here that and it's everybody. It's everybody. We don't have limitless money or limitless resources. Nobody does. But we have great people. You got David, who will go to any event and talk to alumni. You got these students that want to help us. With the fact that they'll turn out and help us at alumni events with just asking. You don't even have to do anything, or they'll just do it. That's a special thing. I'm very excited for what 2026 is going to bring across the board. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the little bit of. I didn't want to leave you without an episode today. I think it's important to kind of reach out and see how everyone's going. One of the great things that would have been great for today, and you guys can please do it. My email is in the description of all these podcasts. If you have a question that you'd like to be addressed, if it's something that's specific that would be better by an email, hey, send it to David and I, and we can answer your question. Maybe it's something as simple as, I don't remember how to get a transcript, or something along those lines. Hey, we'll direct you to the right place. But if it's something more general, what we think about something or whatever, I'd be glad to do some question and answers on the show and get a little more, get some interaction with the audience. I see the numbers. You're out there. You're all listening, which is great, and I really appreciate it. But feel free, send us an email. We will be glad to talk about those or help you out if you have a question, or if it's something we can talk about on the show, we'll talk about it on the show. This is something that David and I love to do for all of you. And members, I'm going to say everybody in the UPJ community, because we spend a lot of time being alumni focused, but there's certainly a lot of people that are members of this UPJ community that didn't attend the class here. And that doesn't make them any less part of our community for the support they give us, or the help they do, or just being here and being what we need them to be. So I'm going to look forward to getting those emails from you. And we're going to have our typical end-of-term wrap-up show next week, which tends to be oddly very popular. I don't know if it's just the David and I interacting or whatever, but I think I might grab somebody else and get a little bit of a chatty special guest if we can. But either way, I hope you have a great week moving forward, and keep all the students in your thoughts as they get ready for finals. You all remember that stress, and they are certainly feeling that stress today. but with the excitement, especially the ones that get to graduate in a week and a half. So I wish you a great week, and we will listen and hope you listen. What I meant to say. Hope you listen next week to the Tuck Shop Podcast. The Tuck Shop Podcast is recorded live on the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown campus. Update your contact information with us by visiting johnstown.pitt.edu/alumni. Connect with us online via Facebook and LinkedIn, or consider donating to the university at give2, that's giveto.pitt.edu/giveupj.
This has been a production of Quantum Wave Media. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.